Well, hey, John.
Hey,
It's really great to see you. And the reason we're talking today is because I'm getting to direct a performance of Sila um, with the Detroit Chamber Winds and Strings and the Great Lakes Chamber Music Festival. So we're gonna be at the Cranbrook Center in. We're gonna play Sila in the middle of the quad at the on the upper school campus there, and
mhm,
yeah,
it's a
so
beautiful
we're
spot.
we're yeah, I think it's going to be really quite wonderful. This performance will be
Uh,
with the brass players from the Detroit Chamber Winds,
mhm.
and then percussionists who play with the Great Lakes Chamber Festival and the Detroit Symphony and Michigan Percussion Ensemble. So it should be a fun band, and we're using two of the choirs. Um, and it's it feels really right to have these two choirs in this space on this campus.
Yeah, that having visited the space, I know the space from a previous visit, and I've also heard, at least on one other occasion, a brass and percussion version of Sila, and I agree. I think this is a really good combination of instruments for that beautiful space, and sounds like you've got an all-star cast. You got some really
Yeah.
good players. Sila is flexible in that of as it's conceived as five different ensembles: strings, brass, woodwinds, percussion, and human voices. Five different choirs of instruments or voices that can perform the piece together or separately, and in any combination. After, at that point, almost 40 years of composing music inspired by the big world, by what I call the real world, but intended to be heard indoors in the small world of concert halls and other enclosed spaces. Maybe it was finally time to make music intended from the get-go to be performed, experienced out of doors, which changed everything, Doug.
Audiences are all sure they have the best seat.
Yes, and they're right.
And it's also a fun space in that we premiered it at Lincoln Center, um, surrounded by the Young Saarinen
Yeah,
design. And
yeah,
here we have Eliel Saarinen buildings surrounding us this time.
that's poetic.
You will walk into this space, for example, to the quad, and you'll think you know it, but then
Yep.
after hearing this music sound in the space for an hour, by the end of it, you will know it in a whole different way, and it will never be the same again.
That's that's what I hope for, Doug. And in a larger sense, that's what these outdoor pieces are all about. They're really about rediscovering home, about coming home. Our listening has has become so finely attuned that as the music of Sila or Inuksut fades away, we begin to hear the music of the place, the birds, the wind, in New York City, the helicopter or the siren, whatever it is, um, rising to meet the music of the performance. And there's this wonderful sense of being alone together within something that is so much larger and so much deeper and older than we can fathom. And really, in some ways, isn't that the human condition?
Yeah, when I'm in the piece, I feel kind of I feel safety, I feel
Uh huh.
comfort.
Uh huh.
Um, so there's a lot of, I think, opportunity to feel like you're in a good place for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a beautiful thought. Yeah, I think it is a reflective piece.
Well, thank you for having this conversation.
Yeah. Thank you for doing the piece. I'm really excited, and I'll be watching and listening.